Hey my lovelies, welcome back to another episode of the Year of Cooking Canuck. Once again, thanks so very much for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. Big shout out to all of my new subs. Hey guys, welcome. And of course, welcome back to my current subscribers. Guys, on today's segment of Clearly Canadian, we're going to be making a French-Canadian favorite. And I'm talking about tourtiere. Tourtiere is a savory meat pie and it's really popular during the Christmas holiday season. But you can have this pie whenever you want. It's very unique. The flavors are absolutely gorgeous together. And there are some variations on it. Now, I found this recipe years ago and it's never failed me. But we'll get more into that when we start cooking the pie. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get in the kitchen and make amazing French-Canadian tourtiere. Let's go, eh? Hey my friends, welcome to the kitchen countertop. As usual guys, all of the amounts and the ingredients I'm using will be in the description bar below. Just click show more to see everything. Right, let's get started. What I have in my bowl here is some pastry flour. Now guys, you can use just plain flour, not a problem. To which I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. Let's give that a good little mix around. Now a good pastry always has some kind of fat. Guys, I'm using butter because I think butter adds flavor, and also if you add lard or like shortening, it doesn't really add flavor to your pastry and it gets a little greasy. So what I've done is I've kept my butter in the freezer, not to be solid, frozen, but to really chill it. Now normally you would see people say to cube the butter and they would add that into their flour and they would use knives or a pastry cutter and fuss about trying to get those crumbs that we're all familiar with to make it look like a crumb mealy mixture. I'm gonna save you a step. This is my trick. I use my box grater and I grate the cold butter right in. This way I'm not fussing about later on and I'm not getting the butter warmed up. And I don't have to sit there and cut the butter in. So I'm going to continue grating the rest of the butter that I need, and I'll bring you back and show you the next step. So guys, what I'm doing here is I'm mixing my flour, my butter, and a little bit of salt mixture together for our dough. I have on standby some ice cold water, which I'm going to be adding a little bit at a time. Don't be tempted to add more water. What we're looking for and checking is to see if the dough clumps together. It should still look very dry and crumbly, but you want it to be able to hold together. So it's important that you add a little by little. Guys, when I thought I had the camera on, it wasn't. And when I thought I had the camera off, it was. So you're getting kind of the behind scenes here. So keep going ahead and mixing your dough together. It should still look kind of dry, a little raggedy. And you're going to keep adding a little bit water at a time and keep checking the consistency of your dough. If it clumps together, then you know that this is where you would stop adding the water. Just be a little bit patient, and like I said, don't be tempted to add too much water. Just go ahead, keep mixing and checking the consistency of your dough and adding a little bit of water at a time. Guys, I can't tell you how much water to add. It all depends on your weather, your flour, but like I said, it's better to err on the side of caution, little by little. Keep checking, and once you get the consistency that clumps together, you know that's when to stop. And here I'm checking and I'm pretty happy with the consistency. So I will ball this up together. So guys, what I'm doing now is I'm gathering all the dough into a ball. It's not sticky and it's not dry. Just make sure you pick up all of the excess flour in your bowl. And what you're going to want to do once this is formed into a ball is go ahead and get some cling film, and you're going to wrap this up and place it in the fridge and keep it very cold until it's time to use it. So off I'm gone to get my cling film, and I'll wrap this up and place it in the fridge. So I formed my dough into a disc, and I'm going to wrap this really well with some cling film, and like I said, place it in the fridge until we need it to roll it out. Hey guys, what I have here is half of a very large onion, 1 celery stalk, and some garlic cloves. What you want to do is you're going to want to dice this very finely. You don't want large chunks. So go ahead with your celery. Like I said, we want small. I mean, you don't want them to be mush, but a small dice, guys. And we're going to do the same thing with our onion, and I'm going to grate my garlic. It's way easier, guys. Alright, so I'll bring you back when all of this is finely diced. Alright guys, so I finally diced my celery, onions, and I've grated my garlic. What I have here from my butchers are equal parts of minced beef and minced pork. Now, as I said, the amounts will be below in the description bar. And we're going to start with our meats. So let's head to the stove. Hey guys, welcome to the stove top. So I put a little bit of olive oil in my deep skillet here, and I'm starting off with our minced beef and pork. And I just want to get it all mixed up. And don't worry if you're crowding the pan, guys, for this recipe, it doesn't matter. So we don't want to cook this all the way through for now. We just want to get just a little bit of color on it, and then we're going to go ahead and add our veggies. Alright guys, our meat has a bit of color, but as you can see, it's not cooked all the way through. So at this point, what we'll do is go ahead and add our celery and onions, and even our garlic. It won't burn. Now, keep an eye on this. Keep it stirring until the vegetables get soft. At that point, I'll show you what I do next. Okay guys, at this point my veggies are starting to get soft. So I'm going to go ahead now and add our spices. Again, all the amounts will be below, but what I can tell you I have is a teaspoon each of cinnamon, ground allspice, thyme, sage, and savory. And then I have a half a teaspoon of cloves. So that's going in. And I'm also going to want about a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, which I'm going to grate in fresh. You can use nutmeg from a jar, guys, but this really adds a nice flavor, and it's a special recipe. Alright, so that's in. Oh, it smells lovely. You also want to salt and pepper this to your taste. And we're going to taste it later, so you can always add more salt. And some cracked black pepper. We're going to let this go for about 5 minutes to get all the flavors melded together, and I'll bring you back then. Oh, if only you guys can smell the aromas in this kitchen. Oh, beautiful. So guys, at this point, my meat mixture is looking pretty dry, and it's soaked up all its own juices. The spices are distributed, so I'm going to go ahead and add some beef stock. Now, this is where there's variations. We need some kind of thickening agent. So, some folks add mashed potatoes, others add grated potatoes, some add breadcrumbs, and some, like myself, add quick oats. So, I'm going to go ahead and add my oats, and it's a give or take thing again, guys. I'm going to give you the measurements below, but if you think that you need more oats, add more oats. We're looking for a moist texture. We don't want this dry and thick, and we don't want it soupy and goopy. Okay? So at this point in the game, we're going to simmer this on very low, and I'll bring you back and show you what the texture I'm looking for is when this is all ready. See you in a bit. Hey guys, our mixture is done. As you can see, it's nice and moist. Hope you can hear that. It's not dry and it's not soupy. I tasted it and I just adjusted the salt and pepper level, but oh, all the other spices are great. Guys, taste it. If you need to add what you want a little bit more of, maybe it's a little bit more cinnamon or allspice, go ahead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lid on this and just set it aside for now. Let's get to our pastry. Alright guys, I've taken my chilled dough out of the fridge, and I'm just going to split this into two for now, and I shall place one half back in the plastic wrap and place that back in the fridge. Keep it chilled. And what I'm going to do with this half is I'm going to make it into somewhat of a disc. I'm going to put a bit of flour down on my board. And a little bit on my rolling pin. Guys, you've seen this before. And I'm just going to start rolling. It's very cold, so it's very stiff. Rolling my dough so I can make the bottom of our pie. And once I have this, I'll bring you right back. Alright guys, I rolled up my dough, and I hope it's gonna fit. Should. Just gonna place this back over my pie plate. There we go. And I'm going to gently set this in. If you have an area with not enough, like I have here, take from an area that has excess. And voila. Right, so I'm going to go all the way around my pie plate, making sure that the corners are covered, and then we'll go ahead and fill it up with the tourtiere filling. Okay guys, I've let my filling cool completely. Oh, and it smells so good in here, guys. So, this recipe should yield you 1 deep dish pie. For the beginning, just pile it in there, because we're going to smooth and pack this down. Great. Like I said, you want to smooth and really pack it in. I hope you can hear how moist it is. Some people don't like that word. Don't know why. Moist. Alright guys. Now that this is packed in nicely, I'm going to just place this in the fridge until I can roll out the top, and I'll bring you back when that's done. Alright guys, I've rolled out the top for our pie, and I'm going to gently place that on top, like so. And I'm just going to cut away the excess, pointing down towards the pie dish. And with the scraps, I mean, it's up to you guys, but feel free to make decorations, or you can roll it back up and freeze it and use it for another project. Like I said guys, tourtiere is a traditional French-Canadian recipe, and it was served at Christmas time a lot. But eat it whenever you want, guys. Right, now, with the traditional fold on a tourtiere, it's starting to get warm on me here, so I'm going to just seal and fold the ends in around your pie plate. I have handles on mine, so it makes it a bit cumbersome. Anyways, guys, right, there's that handle there. And the traditional way to do your crimp would be using your index finger and your thumb and index finger from the other one and pushing down. So you want the scalloped edge resting on your pie plate. So I'm going to continue going around my tourtiere, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you the last step. Alright guys, so I've made my scalloped edge all the way around the pie. Very, very simple. And what I'm going to do is just brush it gently with an egg wash. This is simply a beaten egg with some cold water. Now I'm going to place this in an oven at 200 Celsius for about 30 minutes. We'll check on it though. Everything is basically cooked, guys. We're just wanting to get the crust a little browned and heat it through. the pie heated through. If you find your pie is browning too soon, just put a piece of tin foil over the top to prevent any burning, which we've all been there, guys. Right, I don't want too much on there. Okay, good enough. Then we want some ventilation. Traditionally, it's kind of like a cross or star. A lot of times in Canada's East, French Canadians often will make the sign of the cross over their, before they score their breads or things like that, but that's an old tradition. Alright guys, like I said, in the oven, 200°C, gonna keep an eye on it. We want the brown to be nice and golden and dark, and we'll bring you back when we're all done. Hey guys, our tourtiere has come out of the oven. It's very hot. You can smell the tourtiere, you can smell this butter pastry. It's almost like a puff pastry. Beautiful. Oh, it's gonna be nice and crunchy. Guys, you need to let this cool before you cut into it. It's like lava in there, but traditionally tourtiere is served room temperature and even sometimes cold. So guys, I'm gonna let this cool and we'll serve up a piece. Hey guys, I've gone ahead and cut out a slice of our tourtiere. It's still a bit warm. It could set a little bit more. It's a dense pie, and you can eat this, as I said, room temperature or cold. Guys, believe it or not, it's often served with ketchup. But I'll leave that up to you and you can decide. But I have to admit, it is kind of good with a little bit of ketchup. So guys, there you go. There's French Canadian tourtiere. I hope you enjoyed this. I really loved having you guys with me today. Please like, share, comment. I love all of your comments, guys. There'll be a few pics to follow. My Facebook page will be below. And until next time, we'll see you on Clearly Canadian. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.